We got another new release, the Yikong YK4107. It's basically an unlicensed Nissan Patrol. It is absolutely packed full of features. You got a 2-speed gearbox, locking differentials, portal axles. It's actually got tank turn as well as a 10-channel transmitter. This thing has the potential to be really, really good. Let's check this thing out. The actual RC itself, I think, actually looks really nice. You know, you've got this Lexan body. It does have some nice scale details on there. You've got your mirrors, your door handles. You've got that nice big meaty front bumper. You've got windscreen wipers in there. You've actually got a light bar on the top as well. You've actually got a full interior in there as well with the dashboard. Not a massive amount of space to seat a driver in there, but you know, it's pretty cool that it does actually come with a full interior. You've got a roof rack on the top as well. On the rear, you've got your box. You've also got space for a towing hitch, and you've got your number plates and your LED lights and everything. For the money, it's got some pretty good features. You know, you've got portal axles, you've actually got all metal gears, you've actually got metal ball bearings throughout. It's actually got an LCG style gearbox, a Hobbywing WP60 ESC. One of the downsides to it though is it doesn't come with an instruction manual. So everything you see here is pretty much you've got to figure it out for yourself. So all that came in the box with mine was this sticker sheet, which you can see obviously I didn't stick those on, they were already stuck on. So you've literally just got some like Yikong stickers and stuff like that. And then your actual 10-channel transmitter, which is actually a really nice looking transmitter. You know, loads of functionality on it. You've got all the different buttons here for all the different channel controls. So your 2-speed, your dig function, all your LED lights and everything. You've actually got adjustable drag brake. You know, it's a nice transmitter. Under here, you've actually got all your dip switches and everything, and all your trims and your dual rates and everything like that, like you expect. My only gripe with it is there's no foam grip, so, you know, it's a bit hard to drive one-handed. You probably see from the footage, I basically just chucked a tyre on it to make it a bit easier to steer. You know, some of these transmitters we're getting now with these rate of runs are really, really nice. I think this may be a Dumbo RC transmitter, but I'm not 100% sure. It is exactly the same as what came with the new RGT, and that had a different name on it, X8E, I think it was, or something like that. But yeah, nice little transmitter, especially for the price. So wheels and tyres, you've actually got these high rack style copy tyres. They are vented. Now it looks like the tyres are just glued to the wheels. They are just fake bead locks by the looks of it. Now I do like the kind of scale look they've gone for on the axles, although I'm not so fussed the fact that the locking diff cables and everything are on the front and you can kind of see them, especially with the wires running through. I'll show you that in a minute. But you know, I do quite like this axle style. On the rear, you can see you've got a lot of cables going on here. You've got your locking diffs, then you've got your cables here for your tank turn. So basically the way this one works, you've actually got brake discs on either rear wheel, and then this cable basically works to then actually lock the brake disc so that one wheel locks for your tank turn. So if you were turning left, it would be the rear left wheel that would lock. If you were turning right, it would be the rear right wheel that would lock. Yeah, it's a cool idea, but yeah, I'm not fussed on all the cables everywhere. Underneath, it actually looks like it's a plastic chassis with actually like an integrated center mounting point for the gearbox, which is quite a different design, to be honest. You can see how low that gearbox sits. Obviously they've gone for that kind of low center of gravity. Yeah, it's surprising how low that is. Obviously your motor's quite exposed there, being right at the bottom. You've actually got steel 4 links on the rear. You've got steel 3 links on the front. You've actually got a panhard bar on the front, metal steering links. You can also see as well, they've actually got this dampener here on the steering on the front. So obviously it's like a servo saver. I mean, to be honest, I don't really see the point in having a servo saver on a crawler. I mean, it's not like it's a basher, you know, just ditch it in my opinion. Now, what's also interesting with this one is you do actually have a panhard bar on the rear as well. I'm not sure if you call it a panhard bar on the rear, but it looks like a panhard bar to me, which is, again, something that isn't the norm. A lot of messy wires as well. And you can see we've definitely used it. You know, you don't get the mud included. You got to go through some muddy puddles to get that yourself. Now, for the body, it's actually hinged on the rear, and on the front, you've got this piece here, which you basically just unscrew, which is a little bit fiddly, to be quite honest. So you can see you just unscrew it, and then the body just lifts up, and it's hinged on the rear, which is, you know, pretty cool. Personally, I prefer when the whole body comes off, to be quite honest. You can see you've got all your LED lights in there, so you've actually got like a light control module on the rear. I mean, there's a lot of wires going on in this thing. It is a bit of a rat's nest, to be quite honest. What's also crazy about this thing, you've actually got 5 servos. You've got your 2 servos here for your locking diffs. You've got your servo here for your 2-speed. You've got your steering servo on the front. And then you've got this servo on the back here for your tank turn. It's actually a 25 kilogram steering servo on the rear and on the front, it says. I'm not sure what the rating are on these little micro servos. And you can see you've got your electronics on the side here. So you've got that Hobbywing WP1060 ESC. You've got a Dumbo RC 6-channel receiver. You can see it's an XT60 connector for your battery. You can see what I was saying about those locking diff cables. You can see them kind of running through the inner arch on the front and the rear. You know, I'm not so fussed on kind of how exposed they are and the fact that you can see them. You know, when you're going for a kind of a scale looking rig, at least with the body and everything, I don't like it when you can see things like that. It kind of spoils it, in my opinion. Another pretty cool little thing on this one is you actually got adjustable shock mounting points as well on the front and the rear. So that's a pretty cool little feature. So the motor is actually a 550 brushed 32 turn motor. Your battery tray slap bang in the middle. It's actually a nice size. You know, you can get a decent like 5000 milliamp hour 3S LiPo in there without any issues at all. Now it does show on some of the pictures that supposedly you can adjust the positioning of the battery tray for smaller batteries, but I couldn't see anything in the box that came with it. You know, there are some screw holes and stuff here, but yeah, I can't see how you would adjust that. So I'm not sure if they've maybe got different models, because one thing you might see on the Aliexpress listing is it does actually talk about the fact that there's two different transmitter styles. You've got obviously this one that came with it, and then the other one is actually the 11 channel FlySky transmitter that comes with the FMS FCX10. Now, one thing I would say about this is that, you know, I've only ran it for a bit of water and a bit of mud once, and already you can see a lot of the screws are getting a little bit crusty in there and stuff like that. So, you know, it does have a bit of an element of cheapness to it, in my opinion, but let's get the battery in, let's get it powered on. We can check out all the LED lights and all the functionality. When I ran this, I did use my 5000 milliamp hour Overlander 3S LiPo battery. You know, really decent battery. I use these all the time. If you're in the UK and you want to support a UK company, I do have a discount code in the description as well. When you power on the transmitter, it does like sing to you. Now the power switch is actually underneath. It doesn't have a waterproof cover on it, and it is quite exposed, which is, yeah, I wasn't too fussed on that, but it does still work. So for your LED lights, you've actually got the toggle switch on the side here. So if you push it forward once, you get your little kind of like angel eye kind of headlight styles come on. You do have the dreaded indicators. And then if you push the toggle switch forward again, you get your headlights come on and you get the light bar come on. And then on the rear as well, when you push your toggle switch forward once, you don't get any lights on the rear. When you push it forward again, you get your tail lights. Again, you got your indicators. It does also have reverse lights. You can obviously switch on the ESC between forward brake reverse and forward reverse. Now, I think what I found was if you give it a little bit of throttle, you don't get the reverse lights. You have to kind of whack it in reverse to get the reverse lights. Now, what's actually a bit funny about this one, with all of your channels turned off, you actually come out of the box in second gear. So if I just give it some throttle, you can see that's actually second gear. And then if we actually press channel 8 on the side here, we'll actually then switch to first gear. So yeah, it's quite weird that the fact that you've got to switch it to go into first, it comes out of the box in second. So with us in first gear now, we've got channel 3 and channel 4 turned off. So we're unlocked diffs. So if we just give it a bit of throttle, you can see we can hold the individual tyres to then obviously show that it's open diffs. And then if I just press channel 3, we'll lock the front diffs. You can see. So front diffs locked, but rear diff is unlocked. And then now if we press channel 4, we'll have all locked diffs. So front and rear. Now to operate your tank turn function, what you're actually going to do is press channel 9 on the side here. And then what you'll see is it actually unlocks the rear differentials. So you can see channel 4 is now automatically turned off. So now if we just give it a bit of throttle, we can see the rear diffs unlocked. But what should happen is if we turn and then give it some throttle, you can see that wheel isn't turning. If we do it the other way and give it some throttle, you can see the other side isn't turning. I've just popped the wheel off so you can see that brake disc on there. So you've effectively got a brake disc with a little kind of caliper, you know, very much like you'd have in a real car. And then obviously the line then basically pulls the caliper in, or what would be your brake pad, I suppose, in on the brake disc. If we drive and then steer, you can see it locking that brake disc. It's a cool design. I do like the way they've done it. It's very clever. Now, the only slight thing I've just noticed is it doesn't unlock it straight away unless you turn back the other way. So yeah, maybe some design issues there, to be honest. You know, cool idea, but I think, to be honest, I prefer the way it was on the FCX10 from FMS, where it just basically uses the diff locks to lock the whole rear axle, and you've got a proper dig function as opposed to this kind of individual tank turn. And then if you have a look then at that steering servo on the rear, as we turn, You can see that's actually what's happening, is it's turning and it's pulling those cables to then obviously lock those brake discs on. And then if you do want to go back to running your lock diffs on the front and the rear, you need to turn off channel 9 and then you can manually turn channel 4 back on to get your locking diffs front and rear. Now, as for the other functionality, channel 10 doesn't actually do anything. And then these two toggle switches on the side here, this one is meant to adjust the drag brake and this one I'm not sure if it actually does anything. Now, I ran this thing on the rocks and the trail, so let's check out the running footage. I'm going to clean my desk and then I'll come back and give you my thoughts. That's lovely slow speed control. Look at that. If you can actually see with the sun in the background, but that is so nice. Nice and smooth, really nice movement. This bit of flex as well. Just loads of body rubbing on those tyres. That is crazy. See if we can get up here. It's quite steep. See if we've got some clearance. Bit of bumper issue clearance there. Getting hung up on the centre point, but we should be able to hop it hopefully. Oh, almost. Try again. Let's try that again. Let's go straight for the hop. Ah. Try again. Yay! Okay, now we got the next steeper climb. Let's move around a minute. Let's see if they can get up here. This is quite a nice challenging section, this bit. See what the grip on the tyres is like. Oh, getting close to tipping with a bit of a funny angle. Let's try that again. These tyres are actually pretty decent, he says, as they struggle for grip. Nice. Oh, no. Let's first fall, let's see if there's any damage. Everything looks to be intact. A couple of little scuffs, but otherwise that looks alright. Okay, let's try that again. I should be able to get up there, I reckon. Come on. Yes, okay. Nice, very nice, like that. Tyres are all wet now, obviously, in this slippy rocks. Hey, made it, nice. So really nice movement and flex on it. I love the suspension movement on this thing. Nice bit of flex coming down. Definitely getting some body rubbing issues with those tyres though. It's they need to be either a little bit smaller, or we need some more body clearance. That's so nice though. I love that movement. A nice steep climb here, see if we can get up here. This one's a bit more grippy, so you can get a bit more tyre grip. Nice.
I do really like the look of this rig. When I ordered it online, I was kind of like, oh, I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, actually getting out on the trail and that, it does look really, really cool. I'm glad I went with the darker blue. I think it gives a bit more of a kind of retro feel. But anyway, let's test out our trail speed. So first gear. You can see you got a decent bit of trail speed in first gear. Let's chuck it in second gear. You can see you got a decent amount of trail speed in second gear. To be fair, it's not massively fast in second gear, but obviously that does then give us a bit nicer slow speed control. Okay, let's just try out the tank turn functions. We've got our locking diffs on with channel 3 and channel 4. We're in first gear instead of second, and then if we press channel 9, that should have now activated the brake for the tank turn. So basically, if we turn and then throttle, you can see that all the wheels are actually turning. You can see there's a little bit of kind of hesitation on that one side, but it is still turning. It's not really doing its job there, is it? Let's try it again the other way. So I've still got it engaged. Yeah, it's just not doing anything, is it? I mean, that's not a very good turning. I mean, it's still a decent turning circle, but that's not tank turn, is it? It's not locking that wheel. Now, I haven't changed anything on the controller. We still got everything still switched to what it be. You know, you can see it disables the rear diff when you do turn it on, so it is working properly. And look, if we turn the wheels, look, you can see that one is not turning at all. We go the other way, go the other way. Again, so it is doing what it's meant to do, but I just think that brake isn't powerful enough to actually hold the wheel when it actually is driving and you've got weight on it. You might be able to adjust it maybe or something like that, but that's a bit of a disappointment, to be honest, because, you know, it's a cool feature. Let's just have a look and see how the diff locks work. So, at the moment, we've got them unlocked. Just to show you can still crawl with them unlocked. You know, it does give you a bit more maneuverability. So, if we just come along here. So, we're still unlocked. You know, you can still crawl and stuff like that, and obviously it will give you better turning circle and stuff like that, but obviously when you come up against certain obstacles, then your wheels are going to start to just spin individually or not spin, and then obviously that's when you want the lock diffs. So let's just check that out. Unlocked, let's just try and crawl up this bank here. You can see now, look, that front right wheel isn't turning at all, but the rear right is. And on this side, look, you can see the rear is actually struggling more than the front. So now let's lock the diffs. So that's the front and the rear locked. So now you can see all four wheels are actually turning at the same time at the same kind of speed. Same on this side as well. You can see all four wheels are continuing to turn. So obviously now we've got the lock diffs. So now, obviously you might still get stuck on something like this, but we should be able to at least wheel speed it up here now. There you go, nice. Okay, we've got our usual bank climb, which is actually really steep. It's quite slippy in that. I was really impressed with how this thing was on the rocks, so let's just see how it does on the bank climb. We've got the diffs locked at the moment, so hopefully we shouldn't be spinning individual wheels or anything like that. Probably going to have to hop to get over that first little bit. Nice. Right, I'm going to try and slow crawl up there and see. We have got some mud on the tyres already, so I'm not sure it'll get up there, but just want to give it a chance. Oh, nice. Okay, we're not getting up there with the slow crawling, so let's give it some throttle and see if we can get up here without it tipping over. Okay, we need a bit of a hop to get over that first little muddy bit, I think. Oh, so close. Down it goes. And it should be able to get up there. Let's try in second gear. Okay, I didn't go plan. Okay, let's try that again in second. Come on, I would have thought this would get up there, but yeah, it's lifting that front end. Oh. Well, we're testing out his durability, that's for sure. I'm actually really surprised I didn't get up there, to be fair. I mean, we actually got up there in the big old RGT the other day. Yeah, I mean, consider it's a Lexan body, it is still lifting the front. I mean, to be fair, you know, you can see how muddy it is on the tyres and stuff like that, but yeah, I think maybe we need a bit more wheel speed in first gear to give it a bit more punch to that initial kind of jump over, but I'll just go up the top and show you how steep it is. It doesn't really do it justice from down there, does it? But this is me standing up, look. That's how steep it is. It's pretty steep, to be fair. While we're up here, let's just try one more time. Go on. Oh, we saved it. No, we didn't. The tyres aren't actually that bad on this thing, I don't think, but I think it needs a bit more low down weight, to be honest. It could do with like just some steel wheels or a bit of wheel weights on there. I think it would make a massive difference. It would be more planted and obviously help the tyres bite a bit more as well, I think. One of the things I do like about this one is you can actually trail in second gear. You know, we're in second at the moment. Still got some decent slow speed control there, look, just crawling up. Obviously a bit of rubbing there. And then you can come up against some other obstacles. Just, yeah, nice and easy in second gear, whereas a lot of the time some rigs, because they are so quick in second gear, unless you're brushless, you know, you can't really trail in second gear. Normally when I'm trailing, I'm in first gear, but it is nice that you can trail this thing in second. I mean, we're getting some body rubbing issues there and stuff, but you can just kind of keep a decent throttle on there. Yeah, decent, pretty good slow speed control there in second, and then just rip off. I do really like suspension movement on this thing as well. It does look cool. I love that articulation. It just looks so good. That is so cool. I love that. So it doesn't seem like it likes water. I was literally driving through then on the throttle and it just stopped on me. Obviously that power switch is in the bottom, so I wonder if we're getting a short or something like that. So yeah, maybe you don't want to drive this thing through water. It does seem a really stupid place to put the power switch, especially if it's not waterproof. I mean, that's just asking for trouble. But yeah, that was literally driving through the water then, and then it just cut out on me and then carried on. So yeah, there's a few little kind of issues with this thing, to be honest. You know, obviously that tank turn, driving this through water. I mean, if you know my channel, everything goes in water and mud, so we're gonna have to probably change the ESC maybe, I reckon. But yeah, that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, I try all these things so you don't have to. It's a cool looking rig, isn't it? I am happy with the look, and obviously everything looks better with a bit of mud on it, doesn't it? Yeah, we definitely need to sort out that body rubbing on the tyres, but I do love that suspension movement. That is cool. Okay, let's try our usual kind of little hill climber here. Normally get stuck on the first route. Let's give that a little hop. Okay, that did that really easy, didn't it? Another little bank here as well. Nice. There's decent grip on these tyres, to be fair. They have, you know, they do grip well. On the rocks and on the trail, I've been impressed.
If you want to win a brand new FCX18 LC18, your choice of colour, just £1, which is just over $1, then check out the raffle link in the description to enter. For me personally, this one is a keeper. I do think it looks really nice. You know, I've wanted a Nissan Patrol body for absolutely ages, and I do think they've done a pretty good job, especially for a Lexan body. I absolutely love the suspension movement on it, that articulation when it was on the trail on the rocks, that just looked absolutely fantastic. I really like the fact that you could crawl in second gear as well, that was really nice. I like the lights, except for the indicators. I really like the fact you got a scaly interior in there. I reckon with the driver, some accessories, maybe a few upgrades, you know, this thing could be really capable and actually look really, really cool. The things I didn't like about it though, I was really surprised those electrics cut out, so that's not very inspiring. Obviously that tank turn doesn't work very well. You know, on the bench it seemed like a cool idea, but obviously on the trail you could see it just didn't actually have enough bite in those pads and the discs to be able to stop the wheels from turning. In some ways it does seem a little bit cheap and cheerful. You know, the screws going to get a bit crusty, although to be fair, my Traxxas TRX4 does the same thing. The stickers though do seem a little bit cheap. I was actually really surprised how well the body held up, especially rolling it and smashing it on the rocks and stuff like that. You know, it was pretty tough. I think price-wise, it is a little bit steep, to be honest. You know, I was really happy that I paid just over $330, but at a $400 rig, I think it's a bit more questionable. I think you'd have to really like the body to actually want to spend that much money. You know, for that amount of money, you could get an FCX10, which would have all the bells and whistles, actually work, unlike this one. Or, you know, you could spend a bit more money, you could get a TRX4, you could spend less money, you could get an axial base camp. But anyway, enough waffling for me. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. Do you like it? Would you get one? Give us a like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.